Evening, guys. So today we're going to be talking about how many guitar chords are there. So there are technically infinite possibilities. If you're talking like when you're just starting out, there's just a few key ones that are very common in a lot of songs. So it's kind of like bang for your buck, you know. I'll talk a bit later about triads, something it's like the three notes that can make up a chord. So there's something called the caged system. Now, there's a lot of people against the cage system because it kind of limits you a little bit. It kind of like puts you in a little box. And once you've found the cage system, it does cover you for a lot of situations, especially for general playing. A lot of popular music, you can use the caged system. And essentially what the caged system is your C chord. So it's your C shape. And then you've got your A shapes, which is A minor and A major. And you've got your G shape. You've got your E shape, or your E minor shape. So that's C, A, G, E, and then D. D major and D minor. So with all those shapes, you can do so much, even just within this part of the neck. And then if you want to leverage a capo, you can change keys doing that. And a lot of tabs will just say capo 2. And then you can do the same kind of, I don't know how many chords that was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's about 8 chords there that you can leverage by just changing the key by using the capo, or just transposing it down into the bottom of the neck. So in the most basic form, if you're just starting out, or if you're in your first kind of year and you're just trying to play a whole bunch of not necessarily campfire songs, I guess people that's what they call it, but campfire songs, where most of the song is 4 chords or 8 chords, you know, and it's fairly, you know, simple to follow along, then you can get away with doing that cage system, C-A-G-E-D, just those shapes. Now, when you add the bar chords in, again, there's just 4 main shapes that can cover you for a lot of different situations. Again, this is not the be-all or end-all of all chords, but it's a good point to kind of think about. So number 1 is the E major shape. When you move that up, you can make all of the other major chords. So the reason people use capos is so they don't have to bar with their first finger. They can do E major shape there, and if your capo's on the 3rd fret, for example, it's a G, and if it's on the 1st, it's an F, and if it's on the 5th, it's an A, whatever, wherever you put it. Or the minor version, which is the E minor. So if you bar with your first finger, then you make the E minor shape with these 2 fingers. You can make all your minors, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, etc. So that, you know, that covers you for a lot. Then on this side, using the A minor and A major shapes, if you bar those, then that covers you for a whole set of other notes there on the guitar. So D minor is on the 5th fret, or D major. So when you're doing it down here, it's the same as doing it here. But of course, if you have to do D flat, then it's a lot better to do it like that instead of down here. Okay. Doing it right in the corner there, which sounds a bit tinny, so it sounds a bit warmer up here. So there's 8 shapes there on the guitar, which you can then turn into bar chords, the E's and the A's, shapes to start with. Then you can add C shapes and D shapes barring, but again, it's a little bit more advanced. It's not as needed. There are very particular times where you can create a unique sound by doing a D shape up here of a, you know, so this is an A. It just sounds a bit different. It's the same as putting your cap on the 7th fret and doing a D chord. That Beatles song where Here Comes the Sun, they do use, I think they use the capo up here, but could be wrong. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong there. So they're your main major chords and minor chords. Okay, now stepping out from that, you have 7th chords. Again, you've got major and minor 7th chords. And when I speak about the triads, I'm talking about the 1st, 3rd and 5th note of a scale. Okay, so when you play a C chord, you're playing C, E, G. Okay, C, E, G, and then C, E again. Now to make it a C7, you need to add in particular notes. And the 7th is talking about the 7th note in the scale. Okay. Now, when you're doing C major 7, that's the 7th note of the major scale, okay, which is the B. So if you go C, D, E, F, G, A, B, that's your B, C. It creates that jazz feel. But when you do the dominant 7, that's when you put the flat 7, they call it. So not the B flat. They put that over the top of the major chord. It's called a C dominant 7 or a C7, which you can call it. And you've got C7, D7, G7, and you've got the 7ths of all of them and the major 7ths as well, which has more the jazzy feel. So there's that whole world of 7ths, major 7ths and dominant 7ths, which are used a lot in blues and jazz and, you know, lots of other genres, but famously originally from those two. Then, what else do you have? So you've got major, minor, minor 7ths, dominant 7ths and major 7ths and minor 7ths, okay? There's a whole lot of 7ths there, using different notes from the, so if you're doing a minor chord with a 7th on the top, it's just called a minor 7. If you're doing a major chord with a 7th on the top, it's called a major 7. And when you do the dominant 7, it's just the major chord with the minor 7th on the top. Oh gosh, it's a whole world. Okay, so that's just a little introduction to it. So guitar chords are the building blocks of music for the instrument, forming the harmonic foundation of countless songs across various genres. From the simplest of open chords to complex jazz voicings, the guitar offers a vast array of chord possibilities, limited only by the imagination of the player. So, yeah, it's a whole world, and basically, once you've learned a whole bunch of chords in one octave, you can then add 2 octaves together. So for example, if I'm playing a C chord and I add this 2nd fret in or this 1st fret, it creates another chord. Because once you've gone past C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D is the 8th, is the 9th note, so you could do a C add 9, which you might have heard of, which is where you add that D in at the top. So that's 9. 10 is the E, that's already in the original chord. And then the 11th, so C 11th, you can add the F in at the top, which kind of creates that sound, which is similar to the C sus 4. There's the susses as well, sus 2, sus 4. That's a whole nother set of notes that you can do across 1 octave or 2 octaves. which creates a whole load of different, different voicings. That's a C sus4, but this is as well. You can add the G on the top there. There's basically millions of ways to skin the cat, as they say. At its core, a chord is a combination of 3 or more notes played simultaneously. These notes are typically derived from a specific scale and are arranged in various configurations to create different chord qualities, such as major, minor, diminished, and augmented. There's diminished and augmented as well. That's when you diminish is when you bring a note down, and it creates this kind of sound. And augmented is when it goes up. Okay. So it creates different sounds there. So in standard tuning, there are 6 strings on the guitar, and each string can produce multiple pitches depending on fretting. This allows for a multitude of chord voicings and variations. Basic open chords, which utilize open strings along with fretted notes, are commonly used by beginners and experienced players alike. Bar chords, where a single finger presses down multiple strings across the fretboard, expand the guitarist's chord vocabulary further. So as players advance, they often explore more intricate chord voicings. These may involve adding or omitting certain notes, incorporating extended chord tones, 7ths, 9ths, 11ths, 13ths. So that's where, when I was talking about the scale, and you're going C, D, E, F, G, A, B for the C major scale, that is 8 notes. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, 7 notes, sorry. And then 8th is the C. Once you go past that second C, you're in the second octave, the second set of 8 notes. An octave is 8 notes. So the second set of 8 notes is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and then you're going to go D, that's your 9th, E, it's your 10th, etc. And it goes all the way up. So that's where you get the 11ths and the 13ths. It basically just means you've gone all the way around the octave and you're into the next set of notes, and you're adding those on top of the original notes. It's like the icing on the cake, if you like. Or using alternate tunings to achieve unique sounds. So you can retune the whole guitar to a chord like C, G, D, whatever. And then once you've got this is all an open chord, you can then add notes over the top across multiple octaves. You could go 2-3 octaves higher, and then technically you can go past, and if you do multiples of 8, then you can do your 17ths and your 21st and whatever. Go through all the birthdays. So it goes over the octaves, and that can create the original sounds for a particular song. So when you see these guitarists tapping up here, playing it like a piano and doing the whittling and finger tapping, that's exactly what they're doing. They're going above and beyond different octaves, combining the chords and the scales together to make these incredible bits of music. So jazz guitarists in particular are known for their sophisticated chord voicings, which add color and complexity to their playing. So that's why not everyone likes jazz, because they don't understand necessarily why some of the chords are being paired together. It doesn't kind of harmonize in the way that we are used to, especially in the pop and rock kind of genre, which you would arguably say has been the overarching style since the 60s, 70s, that kind of rock and pop. You can add hip hop and metal and lots of other genres, but you would say those are the overarching ones that have stayed in the charts. The exact number of guitar chords is difficult to quantify due to the instrument's flexibility, vast number of potential voicings, which some sources suggest there are thousands of possible chords. Others focus on a more manageable subset of commonly used shapes and voicings. Like I showed you before, C, G, A, B, all the ones that I showed you. You can pretty much play most songs with those and then add the 7ths in. I would say that covers you for a lot of different styles. Ultimately, the number of chords a guitarist uses depends on their musical style preferences and level of proficiency. So you can pretty much get away with like maybe 20 different shapes and you could play lots of different genres. So regardless of the specific number, exploring guitar chords is a journey of discovery and creativity for players of all levels. For strumming basic open chords to crafting intricate jazz progressions, the guitar offers endless opportunities for expression and musical exploration through chords. So I was trying to learn a song the other day, and it had a chord which was A over F. So it was doing a mini F, and it was adding the A string underneath, and it added that kind of sound. And then you go into a C, sus4, into a B, sus2, back to the F. So it just has these like unique sounds. The D minor 7 into the C sus4 with the B sus2 into the F. You know, so you can really create these lovely harmonies with all these alternate chords. So guitar chords are the essential elements of music for the instrument, providing the harmonic framework for countless songs and compositions. Whether strumming simple open chords or delving into complex jazz voicings, the guitar offers a vast array of chord possibilities limited only by the player's imagination and creativity. Hope you enjoyed this video. Smash that like button. Leave me some comments underneath if you're confused about anything. And don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.